Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very well during this festive season. This is going to be an update video on an update video I did a few weeks ago regarding the health situation on my C63. First and foremost, I'd just like to say a huge thank you and a lot of gratification for the response I got on my video. It was quite overwhelming. I didn't expect that many people to come out with suggestions and ideas or what the cause may be. There's a lot of people who commented with many possibilities of what it could be. So yeah, thank you very much for commenting. I really do appreciate it. But there was one guy in particular who reached out to me on social media, who really did play a big part and helped me a lot. He was very knowledgeable, but I'll get on that in a second. These issues, when I recorded the last video, kind of disappeared in the making of that video, so it was quite annoying that I couldn't relate to the problems in the actual video and show them to you. So the issues that I had were, one of them was a cold start issue, or like an idling issue, where it felt a bit like very juddery and idle. You could feel the car shaking a little bit. Then the next one was juddering under acceleration, and then the other one was a delay with the gearbox. So I did take it to a garage eventually, and got a gearbox service, a diff service, in hopes that it might fix it. They also checked out the diagnostics to see why the car was jerking while I was idling. It in fact was injector number 8, which had to be replaced, and yeah, basically that was the issue, which is quite funny really, because the coil pack number 8 was the issue a few weeks ago, quite a while ago. So I'm not really technically minded, but it's weird how both number 8 in that regard were the issues. So yeah, that's been fixed. I'll just play a little video because I did manage to actually capture finally the jerking idling. So I'll overlay a video of that to make sure you can understand what I was talking about. So yeah, that was the idle issue. As you can hear, it doesn't sound very healthy. It's kind of a bit jerking. It's not like a fluid noise. But now I'm pleased to report that it is now fixed. The idle is now completely smooth. There's no jerking. It's completely lovely V8 rumble like now. So yeah, I got the gearbox and diff service carried out as well. I took that out of the garage. I had high hopes. I had a beaming smile on my face. I was, yeah, I'm going to take this car onto the road and I'm going to feel brilliant about it, because now it's got a gearbox service and diff service. So hopefully the car should be feeling very, very good. So I took it a mile down the road. I drove down the dual carriageway, and then I accelerated in a normal manner, no kick down or anything, just a normal surge of power, and then suddenly I got the most ridiculous judder. It was 10 times worse than the judder I had before, and yeah, at that point I was sobbing and I was feeling very sorry for myself, because basically it just came back with vengeance, and the judder was even worse. So what happened next? I then continued to drive down the motorway. The juddering stopped, but as I was accelerating, I had my foot down and the speedo was just going down, and the power just completely cut out. So I had a loss of power and I was accelerating. So at this point I was very, very I was tempted to take it back to the garage immediately, but I just thought, okay, maybe it's just a little temporary glitch with the gearbox service or something, and I just carried on driving. Drove it all the way back home, took it down to country lanes, went for a bit of a spirited drive, completely fine. Then I got back to my local town, got to a set of lights, and I tried to accelerate after the light went green, and basically the engine just completely cut out. Like, it felt like it just stalled. The engine just shut off. So I then had to obviously turn it back on again. Didn't sound too happy to be turned back on. and I drove back into my town. I think I got to another set of lights, and then it basically just felt very lethargic. Then, as I was getting close to my house, I was driving down the road 30 miles an hour, and then as I was just plodding along at 30 miles an hour, it just, power just went. Had my foot in the ground, wouldn't go anywhere, came to a very sudden halt, and I was completely stopped, engine just cut out again, put my hazards on because I didn't know what I was going to do, and then turn it back on again, and it did fire back up to life, but it did not feel good. Anyway, this is where the guy came in with a YouTube comment who helped me out. He reached out with me earlier, before I even took it to the garage. He basically told me he experienced the same thing with the juddering, and he said that he had this exact issue I did, but it was to do with the friction plates in the clutch or something. He's a lot more technically minded than I am. I don't understand half the stuff he was telling me, but I went along with it, and he said get some readings of the clutch, the friction plates in the clutch. It ranges from like 20 to -20. If you got a number which is like 7 or -7, your clutch friction plates, that's a good number. If you got like -18 or 18, then they are bad numbers. I did get them checked out at the garage, and he said the readings are all good. So even with that knowledge, I could not find a fault with the friction plates. Anyway, I did contact this guy afterwards, and I told him about the whole thing with the car shutting off and everything. He was so helpful. He told me to take out the fuel pressure sensor, because I did have an engine light warning come up in the dash. I forgot to mention that after the car kept cutting out. So I took out the fuel pressure sensor, drove it around like he told me to, and then I put it back in and drove around like I should have done. And that's it really. Ever since, the car's been absolutely perfect. So I don't know what to say really. The car's driving like a peach. I've had no issues since taking the fuel pressure sensor out, back in again. I'm assuming, maybe, I don't know, if they had to change the injector, they had to take out the fuel pressure sensor the first time, and maybe they didn't plug it back in properly, which is maybe why the car was cutting out. So I'm a bit clued up really. I don't really know what's going on. The juddering was really weird as well. I don't know why it started doing that again, and then it's just disappeared. So unfortunately, this video is not really that much help to you guys, because I can't really report to you exactly what the juddering was. But the juddering hasn't happened since it had that little massive judder when the car was starting to lose power and cut out. So I'm a bit unsure. Maybe that was just related to the car losing power, and that's why it juddered then. Maybe the judders I had before were separate and was related to maybe the gearbox service was due. Your guess is as good as mine. I really don't know. But all I can say right now is that a massive thank you to that guy. The car is running perfectly. I've done a gearbox adaptation to see if that smooths out the car. I have noticed the gear changes are slightly smoother, and if we do a kickdown right now, it's going to be instantaneous, as I've tested before. So put my foot down in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's back, it's back. I missed that so much. Yeah, sorry, I had a little moment then. That noise is so intoxicating. But yeah, kickdown is instantaneous now. The gear changes are smooth. The idle issue is gone completely. Whether that engine light and that mishap happens with the car cutting out, maybe that was just the fuel pressure sensor connection not plugged in properly. Hopefully, touch wood, that is the end of my issues, and the C63 is now firing on all 8 cylinders and dancing around in a nice tribal circle. So yeah, that's all I have to report. Just yeah, massive thank you to everyone who commented on the previous video and that guy who reached out to me on social media. Let's just give it a boot for one last time to make sure we know the transmission is in perfect condition. It's working! So thank you very much guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been helpful in some way. Please do comment any questions you have down below, and subscribe and like, would be much appreciated. And I'll see you in the future.